What's going on, y'all? It's DJ Treacy Trees, and welcome back to The Spark. It has been a great week for basketball. The LA Sparks have been on that 5-game winning streak, and unfortunately, it just came to an end. And that's cool, because all good things come to an end. They had to play Connecticut just recently, so we knew that there was going to be a strong possibility that we could have lost one of these games. But the Sparks have been doing an exceptional job of keeping up the pace of the play this entire season, right? They could have just laid down, roll over, and said, this is a, building season. Everybody's been injured. We've had a bunch of misfortune. We're sorry, fans. But they've literally fought tooth and nail, and we've watched a lot of these players become most improved players, like Azare Stevens, like Jordan Canada. So seeing the Sparks lose 68-83 to the Suns actually wasn't that disheartening. To be honest, they kept up with the pace of the play the entire first half. Really, that second half is where it all started to slide, which leads me to believe that moving forward, Coach Curt Miller is going to go back and look at that film and see what we can do to improve, see where we can do different matchups or different rotations in order to make sure that we can lock in this win and to contend against a Connecticut Sun team who just recently secured their 7th consecutive playoff spot. So that's the most in WNBA history of consecutive playoff spots. They've clinched their spot. Vegas has clinched their spot. And then New York has clinched their spot. New York and Vegas are playing today, which is Monday. But tomorrow, the Chicago Sky play the LA Sparks right here at the Crypto.com Arena. I will be live doing the pregame show and the postgame show. But this is arguably one of the most important games of the season, y'all, for multiple reasons. The first reason is Chicago and LA are like right here competing for that 8th spot in the playoffs. Right now, the Chicago Sky are number 9, so if they beat us, they will bump us down, and you've got to be in that 8th spot in order to secure your playoff position. The good thing, the upside for us is we only really have to win 1.5 games, and we have a couple teams in the future that we can drop, like Seattle Storm. The Chicago Sky was another one that we had, like I said. But we do have to see Connecticut 2 more times. And now that's tough, because we have to go to Connecticut. I had a chance just here recently to talk to Laisha Clarendon and Azare Stevens in the press conference following the loss to Connecticut. And the main thing that they talked about was just being tired, y'all. They're gassed, but not just because the Sparks have been having a bunch of misfortune. They've been having to work a lot harder. They're gassed because everybody's gassed at this point in the season. And that's what they said, like if you're not down from injury, you're gassed from just traveling back and forth on those commercial flights and maybe not having the chance to practice. Not today, but this week they have 3 games, y'all, 3 games. One on Tuesday, one on Thursday, and then I think there's one on Saturday. So you've got a couple days in between, and we're home at the Crypto.com Arena, so you have some time to practice. But Coach Curt Miller hasn't had a whole lot of time to turn around and practice and make sure his players are rested. The one thing that I did talk to Coach Miller about in the press conference was sitting Nneka Ogwumike. The game against Connecticut, she sat the entire 4th quarter, which was great to finally see Nneka kind of get a breather and having the other players from the bench come out, even some of the harsher players like Avina Westbrook, coming out to see what kind of offensive push we can make without our all-star in, right? Zaya Cook has been doing a really great job at creating her offense and figuring out her style of play and just knowing that this is her rookie season and finally getting some points. I think she had like 2 points, and then I looked up at the end of the box score, she had like 11. I'm like, oh, okay, Zaya kind of quietly went off, but Carly was a little bit quiet in that last game as well. We didn't see as many threes from her. She usually picks great shots to take, so maybe she wasn't getting those looks because of the defense, which is honestly what I think was happening. In the first half against the Connecticut Sun, the turnovers were in our favor. We were setting traps and getting all kind of things, and then in the second half, Alyssa Thomas kind of shut that down and facilitated all play through herself. So we'll see how this goes. De'Erica Hamby also stepped up and did a lot. She was doing a lot of that footwork in the paint, that over and under, also taking it coast to coast a couple times. I was like, all right, come on, De'Erica, do your thing. Jordan Canada had 5 fouls in the 3rd quarter, and my heart was racing, but Curt Miller said he was cool with that. They knew that Jordan was going to have to play a little bit through that, and Jordan was being mindful of playing with that, those 5 fouls. But in the future, moving forward, we got to make sure to keep Jordan Canada out of foul trouble. we can't give a whole lot of those fouls away because we need Jordan and Laysia to play together. So we kind of have that almost 2-point guard spread the floor. I can drive or I can shoot or I can pass and get an assist to keep up this momentum that we've got going. Azurá Stevens at the 3-point line has been killing it. I think she has been the season's most improved player. I think she's playing better defense. Once she got back to her spot at the natural 4, everything just kind of fell into place for Azurá. You see her confident. She's so cool. She's so goofy. Like, she just followed me on Instagram. I think I said that in my last episode, but I'm going to say that as many times as I need to because that's pretty cool, right? I love the fact that you can go out to the Sparks game, interact with the Sparks, and that we can continue to follow them on this journey, and they're just so humble. They're hungry for it. And there are a lot of teams who you would have thought would have been seated higher than them, but Atlanta has even been taking a slide. They dropped 8 of their last 10 games as to where the Sparks have been on the upper half. So it's like, I would have much rather we had lost a bunch of games at the beginning of the season because we lost Lexi Brown. Laysia Clary didn't have that plantar fasciitis. Sinead doesn't look like she's going to come back at all now. Lexi's back gone, but I think the team and the squad that we have are kind of figuring out those rotations, getting confident, and are getting more comfortable playing with each other. I will have a chance this week to go to the open practice. Hopefully, I can get an interview with one of the players. I'm not sure who yet. I want to get an interview with Jordan Canada. I put in that request, so hopefully, if I get that interview, you will be able to see that on the Infinity TV page, as well as I'll share some clips on my next podcast. Just so you can see what kind of questions I'm going to ask JC and see what more we can do on the playoff runs. I will say this is one of the most exciting times to be an LA Sparks fan. I told y'all we could make it. The beginning of the season looked crazy, but we didn't have a trend in which we just continue to slide and let it go. It seems like Coach Kurt Miller is making the team watch film, seeing what he can do to get better. 18 different rotations, starting lineups later, we found something that's worked. We fought, we've adjusted, and it feels good to be a Sparks fan. So if you are in LA, make sure you show up and show out on Tuesday. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Game. So make sure y'all wear y'all pink. I'll be in the building again shooting the LA Sparks weekly postgame show on the court. We do a little bit with the pregame too, but the postgame is really like our Super Bowl. And then Thursday, I think we play the Liberty or Seattle. I'm not sure who we play on Thursday, actually. Seattle. We play the Storm. So those are 2 games back-to-back that we could have 2 home wins to give us that momentum to get back on the road to close out the season. Who do y'all think is the most improved player so far? I'm going to just get at the nice teacher pause because we knew Nneka Ogwumike was going to do great this season. My most improved player, I'm kind of on the fence because it could be Azurá Stevens and it could be Jordan Canada because Jordan Canada is the second highest scorer on the team. She has really stepped up and started to knock down those threes, and that's what I'm going to start to ask her about. Where did you find your flow? What did you change? What was the tweak that kind of super drove you into this season high performance that we're seeing from Jordan Canada? So who do y'all think? Do you think the Sparks are going to make the playoffs? I told Laysia Clarendon that if the Sparks make the playoffs, I would have to dye my hair purple, so y'all might see that here soon too. But for now, make sure y'all keep it locked on this podcast, The Spark. I am your host, DJ Tracy Treese. Make sure y'all follow me on every platform. That's DJ TRICEY. If you love me and you love my show, then give me 5 stars on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Make sure y'all follow me on Infinity TV. Go to infinitytv.com. You'll see a lot of articles I wrote, all the shows that I'm on, everything. There'll be a whole lot more of me there. Make sure y'all keep it tuned for The Spark. I'm going to report back to you after the Tuesday and Thursday game. So I'll hit you with a new episode on Friday and let you know what I think and what's the next positioning that we need to take. Have a good night, y'all. I will talk to y'all soon. And make sure y'all check out that Liberty game that's going on against the Liberty and Aces. Last regular season meeting for those 2 teams if you're a WNBA fan. It's DJ Tracy Treese, y'all, and I'll see y'all soon.